No one moves out of this neighborhood unless we say so!
I had just dropped my last luggage inside my van when I heard the unmistakable sound of a gun being reloaded behind me. It didn't even sound like a warning. It sounded like a decision already made. Then a cold voice snapped, "Don't move. Hands up or I'm gonna shoot." I tried turning, not to challenge him, but just to figure out which HOA clown had decided to grow a backbone today. But before I could even finish the motion, the shot exploded through my leg. It felt like molten iron ripping through bone. My knees buckled instantly as I crashed onto the concrete, clutching the side of the van to keep myself from collapsing completely. Welcome to Prodigy Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch HOA drama. Now, let's rewind to how the hell we got here, because trust me, it didn't start with bullets flying in my driveway. You see, I had enough. Actually, I had more than enough. My patience for Karen's tantrums had evaporated to dust months earlier. And don't even get me started on her so-called enforcers who patrolled our neighborhood like it was a militarized zone and they were guarding nuclear launch codes. Every week they found some new imaginary rule to slap on my door. I complained every time, but apparently I was the only person in the neighborhood still using my brain. Maybe the rest had been hypnotized by Karen's shrill voice or seduced by the HOA's empty promises of order. Either way, I wasn't sticking around long enough to find out. So I put up a for sale sign on my lawn. I didn't expect a circus, an uprising, or a gunshot, just a simple exit, a clean break. But leaving an HOA run by a power-drunk Karen was apparently the ultimate unforgivable sin. I didn't know this was going to spiral into another one of her signature Karen catastrophes. I thought packing my bags and driving away would be the end. Turns out, it was only the beginning of something way darker, way messier, and way more ridiculous than anything I'd dealt with before. And trust me, I'd already weathered some wild HOA storms. Before we dive in deeply, let us know in the comments what country or which city you're watching this story from. We'd love to know how far this story travels. One day, far too early for any sane human to be awake, I heard 3 sharp knocks on my door. Not polite knocks, not neighborly knocks. These were the kind of knocks you'd expect right before someone serves you divorce papers or tells you your car got repossessed. I opened the door, and surprise, surprise, there she stood. Karen, arms crossed, chin lifted, hair sprayed so stiff it could deflect bullets. For a moment, I genuinely thought she came to wish me luck as I prepared to leave the neighborhood. Maybe even pretend to be civil for once. But of course, that was wishful thinking. Instead, she went straight into her nonsense. "You need to pay your exit authorization fee," she announced like it was the 10 Commandments. I blinked at her because I truly believed I misheard. "Your what?" I asked. She rolled her eyes so dramatically I thought she'd fall backward. "Exit authorization fee," she repeated slower this time, as if I was the one being ridiculous. "It's a mandatory payment required before any resident is approved to leave our community." I stared at her for a solid 5 seconds, waiting for a punchline that never came. It still sounded like gibberish. I told her point blank I wasn't paying any stupid fee, especially not one she clearly cooked up just to squeeze more money out of me before I escaped her dictatorship. The next few days were pure hell. Karen emailed me daily, sometimes twice a day, with official notices demanding I pay $2,000. The letters were written in Comic Sans, which truly added insult to injury. She threatened fines, sanctions, and something she ominously called procedural consequences. I ignored every single one of them. I was leaving soon. Let her choke on her own imaginary laws. I finally found a buyer, and for a moment I actually felt light again, like the storm clouds were clearing. But Karen wasn't letting me go that easily. I didn't know it then, but she had already set something bigger in motion, something way beyond petty emails and fake fees. I thought I was just days from freedom. I was wrong, very, very wrong. The morning I was moving out, the only thing on my mind was getting my belongings into the rented truck and escaping that nightmare neighborhood forever. I wasn't thinking about Karen, her ridiculous threats, or the endless notices she had plastered on my door. I was thinking about freedom, actual, breathable, peaceful freedom. The sun wasn't even fully up yet, and I was already tossing boxes into the back of the truck like a man on a mission. Every thud of a box landing felt like one less chain holding me to that HOA circus. I should have known they wouldn't let me leave quietly. Karen never let anything go without drama, and her enforcers were basically drama on steroids. I just stepped around to grab the last set of boxes when a sharp, commanding voice cut through the morning air. "Don't move. Hands up." It didn't even echo. It stabbed straight into my spine. I froze, instantly knowing who it was. No cops sounded that desperate. Only HOA wannabe soldiers did. I could practically feel the heat of their paranoia burning into my back. "Don't turn around," he barked again, like he was auditioning for a low-budget action movie. But I wasn't about to let them treat me like prey. I took a slow breath and decided to turn anyway, ready to reason with them, ready to end this stupidity before it spiraled. I didn't get the chance. The moment my shoulder angled, a deafening crack exploded behind me. Pain tore through my legs so violently that the world went white. I collapsed instantly, slamming onto the pavement with a scream I didn't even realize came out of me. My breath stuttered, my vision blurred, and all I could see were shadows moving around me. One of them knelt beside me and started searching my pockets like I was some criminal they'd finally caught. He took my wallet, my cash, everything, before sprinting off with the others like a pack of thieves. Somewhere behind the haze, I heard a door slam open, then another. Gasps, shouts, someone yelling for help. A neighbor must have called 911 because the last thing I remember before everything faded was distant sirens growing louder, people gathering, and the cold feeling of my blood spreading across the driveway. I woke up in the hospital with lights buzzing overhead like they were trying to interrogate me back to consciousness. My leg felt like someone had replaced it with a burning metal pipe, but at least I was alive. Um, my family was already gathered around, their faces a mix of relief, rage, and disbelief. The doctor explained I'd lost a dangerous amount of blood, but surgery went well and I'd recover fully, with enough physical therapy and enough hatred for Karen to power me through every session. While I lay there fighting through the fog of painkillers, the real circus was happening outside my room. The police had launched a full-blown manhunt for the so-called HOA enforcers, who sprinted off like scared chickens the second their plan went sideways. Turns out shooting an innocent homeowner isn't something you can sweep under the HOA rug, no matter how many meetings Karen holds. Speaking of her, Karen was already in custody by the time I woke up. They had dragged her out of her precious HOA office, kicking and screaming like someone had unplugged her from the universe's supply of self-importance. She claimed she had nothing to do with any of it, swearing the shooters acted on their own. But the investigators had already found a mountain of emails, letters, and notices she sent me demanding that exit authorization fee. And when they asked her to explain why she created a fake fee to keep me from leaving the neighborhood, she folded faster than wet paper. Karen ended up being sentenced to 12 years in prison, a number that made me grin in ways the doctors probably weren't prepared to see from a patient fresh out of surgery. Meanwhile, her enforcers tried to run, but they weren't exactly masterminds. They were picked up one by one over the next few months, caught doing normal enforcer activities like flashing fake badges at grocery store workers and harassing joggers. Karen lost her home, her position, her control, her reputation, everything she clung to like a lifeline. The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.